We back again. Back again. Who's ready for the end of the 1500 hour block? Because I sure am. It's gonna be a crazy time. We've been playing this game for 22 hours. Holy crap. Poor Minorikawa. Poor Minorikawa. Still stuck in... Oh, shoot. Speaking of which. Hey, Sparky. How's it going? Alright, so we do have a to be continued. We have two to be continueds. Which is not bad. Oh, Queen Cheese. We got 3 more endings to get. Or 3 more continuations to get. It shouldn't be that long. This actually might be a really short stream. I'm not gonna lie. But we'll see how it's going. We're gonna start with Minorikawa. Then move to... no, let's start with Osawa. Let's just start with Osawa. He needs to... Osawa's been having a bad time. Thinking about the case. We're just jumping right into it. I've never truly trusted anyone. Not on a fundamental level. Human beings are the type of organism that I can't get a true handle on through mere surface interactions. And the very fact that I've never trusted anyone else means that inevitably no one else has ever trusted me. In the end... maybe the root of all of my problems can be traced back to my heart. Maybe. You never know. As he waited for Minorikawa to contact him, Osawa thought about his current crisis. Assuming Tanaka is behind the kidnapping, then he must have accomplices. And these criminals had mistakenly abducted Maria in their attempt to get the antiviral drug that was in Hitomi's blood. Maria and Hitomi were fraternal twins, but they looked similar enough to be mistaken for identical twins. Still, Tanaka would never confuse the two. The mix-up must have been made by some criminal who didn't know Maria or Hitomi personally. Insisting that Hitomi bring the ransom to the train station was obviously their solution. It had set her up for a second abduction. But piecing together this much of the kidnapper's plan only raised a different question. Why had Tanaka shown him those emails from Hitomi? Wouldn't the criminals want to keep information like that hidden? The more Osawa thought about things, the less they made sense. Just who are my true allies? And who are my foes? We have no idea. Mr. Osawa, a delivery has arrived for you. It was Kajiwara at the study door. Come in. Kajiwara stepped into the room and handed Osawa a letter-sized envelope. Osawa checked the label. Calming. The official Ayakamiki fan club membership application enclosed. Requires 1,000 yen initiation fee and yearly dues at 3,000 yen. Membership grants several perks, including the opportunity to reserve concert tickets in advance of the general public. Osawa was fond of the members-only website content, which includes Ayakamiki's blog and exclusive videos. Yo, we Ayakamiki fanboy, let's go. Right, he had requested the application the day he'd gotten back from overseas. Would you mind opening that? Kajiwara asked apologetically. What for? I'd just like to check the contents of any packages you received today, sir. It's possible the kidnapper may try to contact you by mail. Osawa opened the envelope. Inside he found the expected application, along with several postcards featuring pictures of the singer. Kajiwara peered pointedly at the postcard images. Dude really likes Aya. Same. He must really like her, the detective said. Just what sort of music do you listen to, then? Osawa asked, staring at one of the postcards. It was a striking photo that showed off Akamiki's expressive eyes. Let me think. Mostly classical, I suppose. What up, Saga? How's it going? Osawa raised a quizzical eyebrow. Kajiwara continued, like Mozart and Chopin and the like. Mozart. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, from 1756 to 1791. Dude was only 35 years old. Died young. Why the sadness? No sadness. Austrian-born music prodigy and classical composer. Famous works include The Marriage of Figaro, The Magic Flute, and Symphony No. 41, known as the Jupiter Symphony. But we also got Chopin. Frédéric Francois Chopin, 1810 to 1849. Dude was 39 years old. Okay. Composer and pianist of the early Romantic era. Famed as a national musician of Poland. Left behind numerous solo piano works. Famous works include Nocturne Op. 9, No. 2, and his Piano Sonata No. 2. He hummed a few bars. Can't say I ever heard of him. Are you serious? Kajiwara looked shocked. I would be shocked. You should know who at least one of those two are. I'm familiar with the names, of course. I just never had much of an interest in music. Okay, there we go. That's fine. Oh, that's such a shame. Would you care to listen to a piece now? I suppose I may as well, now that he brought it up. Osawa was curious to know what sort of music Kajiwara enjoyed. No thank you. Right now, Osawa preferred silence to unfamiliar music. No, let's listen to some classical music. Why not? I suppose I may as well. Now that he brought it up, Osawa was curious to know what sort of music Kajiwara enjoyed. The detective pulled a digital music player out of his pocket. Here you go. Osawa slipped the attached earbuds into his ears. He's listening. He heard a flow of quiet strings that was soon joined by bold dramatic horns. As the piece continued, it grew more profound and complex, and Osawa could feel his spirit calming. He took a deep breath and expelled it through his nostrils. It felt as if the toxic gloom that had filled him was departing with the air. Before he knew it, nearly 10 minutes had passed. What do you think? It's quite nice. The theme of this piece is, Kajiwara paused for a moment and thought. Well, it's how erudition can be boorishness. Erudition? Accumulated knowledge. The term often connotes an advanced and/or historic understanding. Displaying a moderate amount can impress others, but pompously flaunting it is bound to put them off. Okay. Thank you. If I hadn't met you, I'd never have discovered this piece. He spoke the words unthinkingly, with unaccustomed frankness. Was this the power of music, then? I'm very happy to hear that, sir. Osawa gazed at one of the postcards as he let himself be drawn back into the music. Io was scooping up handfuls of mystical blue sand, the grains dripping down from her fingertips. I feel like I could be in this photo here, Osawa muttered. Like I've lived my life letting so many things slip through my fingers. He really has. What up, Mrs. Vian? Kajiwara thought for a moment before responding. I think anyone who's worked hard to accomplish something and focused for a long time on that one thing is susceptible to those kinds of feelings. Accomplishing something means getting results. That's not where my problem is. Osawa removed the headphones and gave back the music player. You told me not to hide things from you, right? Kajiwara nodded silently. Then allow me to speak frankly. Leaning back heavily in his chair, Osawa took another deep, slow breath. I'm anxious. So anxious that it's almost crushing me. Given the circumstances, sir, that's completely No! Osawa spoke up before Kajiwara could finish. It's not that. It's not that at all. He shook his head vigorously. Is it about Aya? If the worst should happen to my daughter, how am I going to feel, I wonder? I'm not a man with a wide range of emotions. My heart is always cold somehow. And the truth is, I've wanted it to be that way. Which is why, if I do lose my daughter, my heart might remain unmoved. I may not even be able to feel a father's sorrow. That's what I'm anxious about. Dude really wants to feel emotions. He really wants to feel emotions. He wants to care for his daughters. He does care, but he just can't express it. That's sad. He felt his emotions twist inside him in a way that was utterly confusing. For perhaps the first time in his life, he realized how fickle a thing the human heart can be. It's all right, sir. Kajiwara flashed him a carefree smile. What's all right? People who really have cold hearts don't worry about that sort of thing. The detective held out his music player again. Here, I'd like you to have this. Please, give it another listen if you like. I think it might help you calm your nerves. Osawa took the offered device. He had dared to open up to Kajiwara just a little, and to his own surprise, he felt grateful for it. And how about one of these as well? Banana! Let's go! We got a banana! The mystical banana of friendship! Yes! The detective produced a banana from his pocket. I'm fine, thanks. Are you sure? Yes, we can take the banana! We can take the banana! Oh my gosh, let's take the banana! Alright, I'm sure. I guess I'll take it. I'll take your banana. Alright, I guess I'll take it. Osawa spoke irritably, then his expression softened a little. We have a banana. We did it. We finally got the mystical banana. We finally got Kajiwara's banana. You know, you've been getting on my nerves all day. Really? And here I thought I'd been doing what I could to soothe your spirits, Mr. Osawa. It's actually been a real long time since I've yelled at anyone quite so much. As the words left his lips, Osawa found himself thinking back to one particular rainy day. It's a younger Osawa, I think. Maria had been in 5th grade at the time. Yep, a younger Osawa. Osawa was standing in his daughter's room. In his hands he held the letter she left behind. He happened to glance out the window and saw Maria walking along, soaked from head to toe. In an instant, Osawa was consumed with rage. Maria had left a note. It read, "Dad, you only pay attention to Hitomi. You're too busy with work to play with me, so I'm running away from home." Struck by an impulse he didn't quite understand, he ran from the room, heading for the front door. Maria had just gotten back inside. Osawa met her silently in the entryway. Wet strands of hair clung to the girl's forehead as she looked up at her father with a bitter glare. "You don't care what happens to me, do you?" Impulsively, he slapped her face. Maria's cheek turned red and tears welled up in her eyes. Osawa's anger transformed abruptly into guilt. He gazed out at the palm of his hand and saw a tiny spot of blood. "Dude, you slapped your daughter so hard she started bleeding?" I mean, spankings and such, like, I understand. And I know there's the whole, like, shut up baka sort of thing, but, like, what? He was shocked by the recognition of what he'd just done. And then he was afraid. Afraid that his daughter could bring such raw emotion out of him and make him do something so thoughtless. "Is something wrong, Mr. Osawa?" Kajiwara was leaning in, looking concerned. Osawa came back into the moment with a start and realized he had buried his face in his hands. "No," he muttered, looking up. "Just getting angry, yelling at people. I'm not good with that sort of thing. I don't like it." He picked up the music player and fidgeted with the earbuds as he spoke. "Well, getting angry and yelling at people, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's just human." "It's human to do those kinds of things. I often said that it was cold and mechanical." Her sarcasm only underlined a fact he'd always lived with, that he didn't know how to conduct himself like a human being. "If you get angry, you show it," Kajiwara said. "If you get sad, you show it. It's human nature to let other people know how we're feeling, after all." "Well, what if doing that hurts the other person?" It's a good question. "That's when you apologize, sir." It occurred to Osawa that he never tried to tell anyone how he felt before. He never felt the need to. And yet, right now, he suddenly felt that if his daughters were to appear before him, he might blurt out everything he'd ever left unsaid. It was a terrifying thought. "Darling," I opened the door and stepped into the room. "The detectives are asking for you. It seems there's been a development." "The explosion! We'll be right there." Osawa and Kajiwara hurried out of the room. Keep out. It's gonna be a keep out, because we're not supposed to know about the explosion yet. Yep. Okay. That makes sense. But Baba. Yeah, no, that makes complete sense, because we're technically not supposed to know the explosion happened yet at this point. That makes sense. That guy. Wishes Minorikawa running. Sister. Just trying to see. There's Minorikawa. Okay, yeah, I was like, I know we have a jump. Just what sort of plan had Alfard put into motion here? It seemed that Tanaka and Osawa held the keys, understanding it. There had been relay handoffs of the phony attaché case, a relay that Tanaka had been complicit in. Then there was Hitomi missing, carrying the antiviral. Osawa confirmed that himself. So let's go see what's going on with Osawa now. So what's going on? What did the detective? I think the detectives want to talk to him about the explosion. Before the news was shared with the Osawas, the members of the investigation team quietly briefed Detective Kajiwara. Osawa and I sat on the sofa on the far side of the room watching. They could see Kajiwara go pale. He wiped the sweat from his forehead with a handkerchief several times. "What up, Jem? How's it going?" "Bad news," Osawa thought. "Mr. Osawa, ma'am." Kajiwara shuffled his way over to them at last. "We've just gotten word from headquarters. Right now, the task force is in uproar after a change in direction from the higher-ups. The detectives who were on the scene have been ordered to discontinue the kidnapping investigation. So we can go back to Kano, but we've already finished." He hesitated ominously. Osawa braced himself. "Please, let's hear it." "It would seem that your daughter Maria is safe." "What?" Osawa felt an unexpected surge of relief. "You mean it? The case has been solved?" For a moment, they almost sounded like a happily married couple. It was only the stern look on Kajiwara's face that gave them pause. "However, as of yet, we do not have her in custody." "I'm not sure I understand," Osawa said. "You know she's alive, but you don't have her? How?" Deep furrows appeared in Kajiwara's forehead. "I'm sorry, sir. The information we received from up top is complicated. We've confirmed that she was able to escape confinement. It's just..." The detectives gave every appearance of holding something back. "If there's something you need to tell us, then just say it," Osawa told him. It would seem that Maria has been infected with a virus. Infected? Osawa felt as if a talon claw just clutched his heart. It's not one I've ever heard of before, but apparently it's called the UA virus. Osawa proceeds to freak out. Osawa's vision went dark. He felt as if he'd plunged into a black void of despair. Darling, I asked raspily. She didn't need to put her fears into words. Osawa felt them just as plainly in his own gut. You're an expert of virology, aren't you, Mr. Osawa? Kajiwara said. Are you familiar with this UA virus? Osawa held up a hand to forestall further questions. There was no time for that. How many hours ago was she infected? He demanded. I wasn't told that much. Is that important to know, sir? Depending on when Maria was infected, we may or may not still be... Osawa trailed off abruptly as the reality of the situation struck home. This wasn't the same as when Hitomi had been affected. Right now, there was no way of getting Tanaka's cooperation. Tanaka's dead, by the way, from an exploding van, which meant there was no way of accessing the antiviral storage. In other words, getting the cure to Maria would be impossible. Osawa's head swam. Detective Kajiwara, I beg of you, your people need to catch Tanaka as soon as possible. I can't share the details, but if you don't, something terrible is going to happen. Just then, Kajiwara's cell phone rang. He picked up quickly. What did you say? The detective's shouts shattered the anxious silence that had fallen. Eyes shuddered visibly at the outburst. Kajiwara nodded sharply, still listening. Marked creases formed in his forehead. Understood. I'll let them know. He hung up. All eyes were on him. That was headquarters. Osawa swallowed the lump in his throat. He could feel himself quaking all over. A minivan we believe belonged to the syndicate exploded near Jinyan in Shibuya. A body was found amongst the burning wreckage of the vehicle. Who was it? Osawa interjected. Tell me! Please don't let it be Maria. Please don't let it be Hitomi. Kajiwara took a breath before speaking. We can conclusively identify the remains as Mr. Tanaka's. No! The cry was visceral, almost bird-like. Osawa looked around in surprise. It was I. It's not true! You're lying! Her shrill screams reverberated through the room. Osawa felt like he wanted to scream too. With Tanaka dead, there was no way to get to the antiviral. Which meant that Maria was going to die. Well, that's not good. Let's answer some questions from Kano now, while this goes on. Hey, Cheese Lord, how's it going? Minorikawa returned to see a man in a suit approaching him, flashing his badge. So a detective with questions for him, huh? How about you answer a few questions for me? Was this an accident or an attack? We still don't know many details. Let me rephrase that for you. This is a major incident, Minorikawa exclaimed. Huh? The detective looked pretty flummoxed. I've been around the block a few times, and I know all your police PR lingo. And when you start talking about the details, that is 100% indicative of a major incident. Brushing aside Minorikawa's remark, the detective tried another question. Did you happen to notice anything unusual prior to the explosion? Unusual? Minorikawa thought back to the moments before the minivan blew up. Now that you mention it, I think I heard a cell phone ringtone. The detective tilted his head. A ringtone? No, never mind, forget that. There's no way the ringtone of someone's phone would be audible through all of that. Minorikawa struck the thought from his own mind as he said it. In all likelihood, he'd associate the ringtone and the explosion simply because one had happened right before the other. Kano. A large-statured Caucasian man had called out to the detective. Evidently, the detective's name was Kano. Thank you for your cooperation, he said with a bow. Then he ran over to the foreigner. So much stuff is happening. Mr. Minorikawa! Minorikawa turned at the female voice behind him. He found Miku standing there. She looked like she'd been crying. Miku, about earlier. He trailed off, searching for an apology. It's okay, that doesn't matter right now. Miku looked around the scene. Minorikawa followed her gaze. Something big went down here, he said. I know, she exclaimed. The explosion. I saw it happen with my own eyes. You what? Miku looked around nervously. Are you alright? He asked her. You're not hurt, are you? I'm okay. My ears are still ringing a bit is all. Good. So what did you see at the time of the explosion? Minorikawa, now is the time you're going to be talking to a witness about the explosion? Come on now, dude. Miku assumed a thoughtful expression. There was this girl who was running toward the minivan. And then I think I saw this other Middle Eastern girl suddenly make a dive for her, and then the van just exploded.
Wait, hold on, Minorikawa said. So if I'm getting this right, it sounds like this Middle Eastern girl saved the girl who was running up to the van?
Miku nodded. Just then, Minorikawa's phone chimed. He received an email. It was from Chiaki. Mr. Mino, are you still working on your copy? He checked his watch. At this point, the 4 o'clock deadline was barely 20 minutes away. Nonetheless, he decided to stay at the bomb scene. He could definitely smell a scoop here, he was sure of it. Even if he couldn't get his 6 pages done by 4, landing a major scoop should be enough to persuade the loan company. Minorikawa jotted his phone number down and handed it to Miku.
I'll make things up to you, he said. Give me a call later.
Miku took the scrap of paper, puzzled.
If you're looking for an Akijutsu dojo, I know a few.
And at that, her face lit up. Minorikawa decided to process the scene for clues. As he wandered around, he caught sight of Detective Kano and his Caucasian colleague heading down an alley.
What's that I smell? Something pretty damn fishy.
If they were slipping away for a private conversation, maybe there was some way he could listen in. Minorikawa hurried into one of the buildings that bordered the alley. He looked around and found a public bathroom upstairs on the alley side of the building. Hoping beyond hope, he slipped up to the bathroom window. Voices outside. He held his breath and listened. Those international criminals you mentioned. Kano's words were faint, but he could make them out. Minorikawa did a little fist pump. Correct. Roughly 8 hours ago, they infected Maria Osawa with the UA virus. Then they let her loose somewhere in Shibuya. Hold on, by UA you mean? The discussion involved some terms Minorikawa wasn't familiar with. He focused all of his mental energy on what the two were saying. This is a killer virus with a 100% mortality rate once it takes hold. 100%? Minorikawa muttered to himself. The shock caused him to unclench the fist he didn't realize he made. This wasn't just an interesting conversation. It was monumental. It has an incubation period of 12 hours. In another 4 hours, Maria Osawa will go symptomatic. After that, she'll begin spreading the virus throughout the city. It's capable of airborne transmission? If we don't administer Kenji Osawa's antiviral before she develops symptoms... Yes? Everyone in Shibuya is going to die. Which we know! We need to save Maria. Minorikawa felt goosebumps rise all over his body. If they were talking about a virus and a Kenji Osawa, they could only mean that Kenji Osawa. He recalled what Osawa had said earlier about the power balance of the world being at stake. There was no doubt about it. This was a tremendous scoop. Well then, we need to find Maria Osawa and get the antiviral to her as soon as possible. Just calm down. There's more to the story than...
It's starting to leak out!
The door swung open loudly and someone came barging into the bathroom.
Oh!
What are the fucking odds? What are the odds? It was Yanagashita.
Why him again? And why here of all places?
Oh, I'm leaking here! Yanagashita was on the verge of hysterics. Dude's gotta piss his pants. His voice must have been audible outside. Kano and his companion went to take their discussion elsewhere, and they'd just been getting to the good part.
You son of a bitch!
Enraged, Minorikawa grabbed Yanagashita and tossed him to the floor.
I'm leaking!
Shut your mouth! He put all of his strength into an ankle hold and gave him a good twist. A professional wrestling technique that involves grabbing the opponent by the ankle. Being caught up like this can be extremely painful. It also puts a lot of pressure on the lower body. And if you're already fighting the urge to urinate, well... Oh shit. Minorikawa's gonna get pissed on.
Ah!
Yanagashita wailed. Also, Queen Cheese, I think you're behind. You may want to refresh stream. Minorikawa left the idiot blubbering in the bathroom and hurried out of the building. He hadn't heard the whole discussion, but he had a scoop on his hands anyway. This would be a tremendous score for Heaven Publishing, enough to let the company rebuild. He was certain of it.
And if I'm the one saying it, it's gotta be true.
As he ran along, Minorikawa tried to plan his next steps. First, he had to get back to the editing office. He'd explain the situation to the people from the loan company. Then he'd go find that paperwork for Osawa and have Chiaki check his copy. And then after that... Okay, so he still had a lot of things he needed to do. He swatted himself on both cheeks to get himself psyched up. His phone rang. His phone range, not rang. Range was Chiaki. Mr. Mino, something terrible's happened! Chucky's voice was a broken yelp.
Whoa, calm down!
Over on Korondori, this minivan exploded.
Yeah, I'm well aware. I'm kinda covered in ash, and I almost died. Thanks to that, I got a big scoop that...
Chucky cut him off. Just now, I got a call from Mr. Toyama's daughter, Hana. This time, Minorikawa waited for her to finish. He had a sinking feeling. She said that Mr. Toyama was in there. Huh? Hi, Cassie. Wait, but Tanaka was in there. Wait, but the detective said that's Tanaka in there. But Hana's saying Toyama was? It was a suicide. Minorikawa's knees buckled.
Tell me you're joking.
No, I mean, the van explosion was all over the news and Hana was in tears on the phone and... Mr. Mino? Mr. Mino, are you still there? Toyama had killed himself? Minorikawa felt the energy drain from his body. To be continued. To be fucking continued. Oh. That just leaves Maria. We need to let him flee. I have no idea, Queen Cheese. He might be. Well, right now we need to make sure that he, we need to let him free, so that way Maria doesn't get the bad ending.
Anyhow, I'm just glad I got my partner back.
Ordinarily, he'd be inclined to pursue Yanagashita and subject him to a tirade at the very least, but there was no time for that now. He explained the situation to the shopkeeper and flashed a sympathetic smile. Out of time. Wait. What? Wait. Hey, what up, Q? How's it going? Help high? I don't know what's going on. Now everything changed. Hold on. Let's chase the minivan. Let's see what happens. I guess there must be more things now that Yanagashita's run free. Suddenly a boom as loud as cannon fire shook the area. Something's wrong, Kano thought. That's no ordinary city noise. A column of black smoke rose up from between two nearby buildings. Passerby stopped and stared, gasping in alarm. We're gonna probably see Yanagashita be running here. Let's see. Can anyone spot Yanagashita? The explosion. Okay, we didn't see Minorikawa that time, though. Then Kano saw flames. This hadn't been an accident. Someone set off an explosion. Several people were on the ground nearby, evidently injured by the detonation. Mr. Minorikawa! Mr. Minorikawa! A high school-aged girl was crying, clinging tightly to a man who had been caught in the blast. Kano recognized her as the girl he talked to earlier during the traffic jam. The man looked like he might still be alive. Kano hurried over to them. Police! Police! He announced. No, this is Minorikawa dying. Blood was streaming from the man's mouth. He clearly suffered some internal damage. Hang in there, buddy, Kano told him. Stay with us. The man's face twisted up in pain, but somehow he managed to croak out a few words. Kano let out a gasp. The man's voice was almost too weak to hear, but what he said still shook Kano to the core. This man knew something important. Something crucial to the investigation. Rescue vehicles arrived on the scene, and the wounded man was promptly loaded onto the stretcher. When he was placed inside the ambulance, Kano flashed his badge at the paramedics and got in alongside him. The man had already fallen unconscious. Kano didn't know when he'd wake up, back up, but he knew where he needed to hear what the guy had to say. He sensed that the stranger was the key into unlocking the entire case. But though Kano kept a lonely vigil, the man never woke again. The antiviral that had been given to Atomi, the blue minivan Al Karawan told Atomi to look for, and now the minivan exploding. Kano was sure this man didn't know how all of these tied together. But now the key to solving the case was gone for good. So this is a bad ending. This is Kano's bad ending. This is the only bad ending for Kano. A blown lead. Kano tried to get information from a man who was caught in the explosion, Minorikawa, but he arrived too late. If Minorikawa hadn't been caught in the blast, things would have gone differently for Kano. At 15:30, somebody shouts something, and depending on what they shout, both Kano and Minorikawa's fates may change. So that's Achi. So something else has to happen with Achi. Achi, please, Hitomi urged. Stop messing around. Let's look for the minivan. Alright, let's switch things. Alright, my bad. Achi switched over to a different camera. Alright, my bad. Achi switched over to a different camera. He continued switching views, scanning the streets of Shibuya, but there was no sign of a blue minivan anywhere. Still, they remained glued to the monitor. Oh, that's me. Hitomi took out her cell phone. It's an email from Mr. Tanaka. Okay. Yeah, it was about time for my mood to take a dip, Achi thought. What? Hitomi blurted. She looked up from her phone. Achi, Mr. Tanaka found the minivan. He what? What does he say? Read it to me. Okay. I ran after it, but wound up losing sight of it. It was heading towards Shinya. That's what he says. Okay, so this continues going forth. So I'm guessing if I check the surveillance cameras... So hold on. So I have to do... Sorry, there's something I'm curious about. Let's see. I guess there's something that happens. The weirdo rushed into a knick-knack shop in Center Guy soon after the man with the coat appeared and followed him into the shop. Aha! Looks like he snatched that guy's computer. Moments later, the weirdo came rushing back out of the shop and sprinted away again. He wove through the narrow alleyways with cat-like clarity. Achi did his best to keep tabs on him, but the man managed to give him the slip. Wow, Hitomi said. She had too been watching closely. I'm kind of impressed. Mind if I keep at it? Achi asked. Sure. He continued scanning camera images, trying to locate the guy again. At this point, even Hitomi was invested in the quest to find the fugitive. Wow. That took a turn. But minutes passed and they didn't spot him. Achi was on the verge of giving up. Oh, that's me. Hitomi took out her cell phone. It's an email from Mr. Tana. Oh, Mr. Tana? Found him! Achi shot cut Hitomi short. The guy was in a back alley off at Center Guy. He was talking with someone. Huh? Is that? Achi blinked a few times as he leaned in closer to the screen. Hitomi, you have to come look at this. Ah! That's my sister! Hitomi brimmed with excitement. For real? I think so. What's she doing in a place like that? And why is she talking to that guy? I'm not sure. The monitors showed a cheerful little scene. Looks like they're having fun. Yes, since they're twins, they're both into older guys. Achi felt his mood start to sour. I have to ask you, are you sure she was kidnapped? Yes, at least I'm sure thought so, and so did the police. Then what's this all about? Should we go and see for ourselves? Guess so. Oh, what about that email? Achi pointed at Hitomi's cell phone. Shouldn't you take a look at that? My sister comes first. That place where she is it far from here? No, not particularly. Achi and Hitomi rushed from the building, headed for the alley where Maria was talking to the computer thief. Nope, we can't jump yet. Keep out? No. It wasn't long before they were closing in on their destination, but as they headed down a narrow side street, a familiar figure suddenly appeared to bar their way. The assassin? Yeah, he's there. Uh-oh, it's him! Gun in hand, the man with the cane slowly ambled towards them. Achi and Hitomi bolted down a nearby alley. Taking another turn, they reached the alley they'd seen on the cameras. Maria! Hitomi rushed over to her sister, but Maria just stood staring at Hitomi in silence as if she couldn't process what was going on. Meanwhile, the assassin was still in pursuit. He had turned the corner behind them and was steadily drawing nearer. He pointed his gun at Hitomi's head. Come on, hurry! Achi urged. He tried to lead the two girls away, hoping to escape further down the alley. But instead, Maria charged boldly at the man with the cane. The assassin was caught off guard by the unexpected counterattack, but he reacted quickly, clubbing the girl in the head with the grip of his pistol. Maria! Hitomi shrieked. She stared in horror as her sister collapsed in a heap on the ground. Then Hitomi's eyes rolled back in her head, and she fainted into Achi's arms. Hitomi, hey! But the shock had overwhelmed her. She was out cold. Bye, Baba. Take it easy. Slowly, the assassin lifted his gun again, aiming for Achi and Hitomi. If he'd only had Hitomi to protect, Achi might have been able to pick her up and get away. But he couldn't just leave her sister here. He knew, with the chilling certainty of despair, that he could never save them both. Well then, these are some bad ends that we're seeing. Sisters in the alley. Finding Maria had seemed like such a stroke of luck, but it led to Achi and Hitomi running right across the killer's path. This never would have happened if Achi hadn't gotten distracted with tracking that weirdo on the cameras, if he'd focused on looking for the minivan instead. Which means at this point we can go to Maria and see what's going on there. There's so many different paths, oh my goodness. The assassin had gone quiet, sitting on a pile of crates. He seems lost in thought. Still, I don't dare try to get away. All I could do is stand and wait and mull over my own thoughts. So this should be another bad ending, by the way. Just who am I? I ask myself again and again. I am... So much stuff. Well, keep in mind, Hitomi has the antiviral in her veins. Tama! Tama! I am... Tama, Hitomi, none of the above. Tama? Tama? I turn at the sound of an exuberant voice and see Mr. Yanagashita running at my way, flailing his arm in a friendly greeting. I swear, this guy could wind up banished in the pits of hell and he'd still give it his all, day in and day out. Oh, thank goodness, it's you, Tama! I knew it! The man with the cane grumbles something incoherent, then holsters his gun and flees the scene. Huh, now you're with some middle-aged guy. You look so sweet and innocent, but I guess you kinda get around, huh? Boss, nice timing. I do a little fist pump. Whatever he's doing here, I'm glad he drove off that guy with a gun. What are you so happy about? Yanagashita gives me a puzzled look. Also, Supernova, how are you doing? But he's promptly distracted by his own excitement. Well, anyway, never mind that, Tama! He shifts down to a conspiratorial whisper. You know, I'm such an idiot! I can't believe I was in such a tizzy over some silly scratch card from a magazine. I can tell he has news he's itching to tell me. Did something happen? Well, he brings a hand to his mouth and giggles unsettling. I had a great little idea! A great way to strike it rich! A great way to strike it rich! Sorry, I need to keep his voice consistent. I keep changing it. I feel like I've heard this before from you before. Mr. Yoshina shakes his head fervently. This time it's different! We're talking way more digits than before! Now, try not to be too surprised, yeah? Spittle flies from his mouth as he rattles on. Oh, it's okay to be surprised, actually. In fact, I'm guessing you're definitely gonna be amazed this time, Tama. I can practically see the banknotes dancing in his eyes. Cut to the chase already. What is it you want to tell me? This time, get this! I got a line on 10 million yen! He thrusts his index finger skyward, grinning ear to ear. Surprised now? Yeah, you are, and it doesn't require any capital. It's no risk, high return. In the world of equity investment, a wise investor weighs risk against the potential for return. Many heavily risky projects, however, yield little in the way of actual return. Such cases are called high risk, low return. The inverse, low risk, high return, is quite rare. The idea of no risk, high return is simply absurd. Yeah, that's true. There's a crazy gleam in his eyes. Oh man, I'm finally get to keep... Oh man, I'm finally gonna get to be part of the Billionaires Club! This is so ridiculous, I don't even have a snappy retort for it. Never mind that 10 million obviously wouldn't make him a billionaire. By the way, you haven't seen Chiri, have you? We're gonna need her help to wrap up this 10 million yen. Chiri? No, I haven't run into her since the sales demo. Oh darn, well if you do happen to see her, tell her to get in touch with me. Sure, alright. I still don't know what he's going on about, but there's probably no harm in being helpful. Thank you, Tama. Guess I may as well give you a little hint. A hint? Yeah, a hint. Wanna hear it? Oh, sure, thank you. Oh, sure, thank you. Well then, I guess I got no choice. Well, you get put it that way, I just have to tell you. Mr. Yonichina clears his throat and proceeds to declaim in an affected tone. When the mighty stomach triumphs over the endless cavalcade of icebergs, the hero shall be blessed with fame and fortune. What is this? What are we witnessing? Huh? What the heck is that supposed to mean? He looks inordinately amused at his confusion. It's a part of a legend. You only need to remember that one verse for now. You're gonna be bear witness to history. Ladies and gentlemen, the face of history. Yanagashita. I feel like this guy is right out of some kind of story himself. Anyway, thanks for helping me out with the cherry thing! Adios! Spanish for goodbye. The true meaning is closer to English farewell. In day-to-day interactions, most Spanish speakers use the word ciao. Adios can carry the connotation that you do not expect to see the addressee again. Interesting. And then, like a whirlwind, Mr. Yanagashita zooms away, leaving me alone in the alley. Whew! Suddenly I feel totally exhausted. I let out a sigh and drop my eyes, and that's when I noticed a notebook on the ground at my feet. Did the assassin drop this? I pick it up and look inside. There's a photograph tucked inside the back cover. It shows 3 young people, 2 boys and a girl. Interesting. Interesting. Well, what do I do now? Do I get to the police? How would I even explain the situation? I can see it now. There's this killer out there, and he's after this person named Osawa. And then the police would be like, who is that? And who exactly is after her? And then what would I say? Heck, they might not even give me the time of day in the first place. Not only do I not have any idea who Osawa is, I know nothing about the guy who's after her, except that he walks with a cane. I mean, I can't even tell them who I am. They'd probably shoo me away without a second thought. What am I supposed to do? I hang my head at a total loss. The necklace around my neck sways idly to and fro. Meanwhile, keep out. Interesting. Well, hold on. We can jump. We can jump to Maria now. Rush on building. How do you where Maria is talking to the computer thief? But here's the thing. This keep out, fun fact, is a bad ending. Suddenly I hear someone call out, Maria! Maria! Huh? I spin around to see a young girl running toward me. She kind of looks like me. Behind her are 2 men. One of them is the man with the cane. He raises his gun and aims it at her. Oh no, he's going to shoot her! The instant I realize what he's doing, I'm lunging toward him. He shifts his grip on the gun and clubs me in the head. I stagger against the wall, trying to keep my feet, but my legs buckle under me and I crumple on the spot. I don't even know why I tried to protect this girl. My body just moved on its own. Maybe it was just a reflexive impulse to help someone in danger. But am I the sort of person who'd risk her life to protect some complete stranger? That's not a complete stranger! We just got clubbed and killed. But this is a bad ending. Protecting the girl. Maria's impulse to protect a stranger is selfless, but ill-fated. Of course, the strange girl is actually your sister, Hitomi. If you know what causes Hitomi to show up here, you can probably avoid this untimely end. Which we do. Alright, so let us switch this around. What up, Lily? How's it going? I'm doing pretty good. How about you? Alright, so let's switch this over. So this should take us to be continued. Okay. This should also be to be continued. Perfect. This should also. Now we're in a good path here. Okay, now we're at a good path. Before, we screwed up everything, but now we're good. Whew, suddenly I feel totally exhausted. I let out a sigh and drop my knees, and that's when I notice a notebook in the ground at my feet. Did the assassin drop this? I pick it up and look inside. There's a photograph tucked inside the back cover. It shows 3 young people, 2 boys and a girl. I feel like that's going to be very, very important later. We'll see. Well, what do I do now? Do I go to the police? How would I even explain the situation? I can see it now. There's this killer out there, and he's after this person named Osawa. And then the police would be like, who is that? And who is exactly after her? And then what would I say? Heck, they might not even give me the time of day in the first place. Not only do I not have any idea who Hitomi Osawa is, I know nothing about the guy who's after her, except that he walks with a cane. I mean, I can't even tell them who I am. They probably shoo me away without a second thought. What am I supposed to do? I hang my head at a total loss. The necklace around my neck sways idly to and fro. Should be back to keep out, I think. Yep, there we go. So back to keep out, but now we can jump using this one. Nice, Lily. Nice. Hope you did well on the quiz. Okay, I ran after it, but wound up losing sight of it. It was heading towards Jinyan. That's what he says. What about your sister? Now we're able to jump through. Perfect. Okay. This is the last path, it looks like, so we're good. So where's Maria, though? Evidently, I muster up the energy to start walking around town, heading nowhere in particular. There's Ayakamiki, whose face is literally everywhere. The billboard outside of the department store displays a poster of some female musician. She must be pretty popular because lots of passersby stop to take a good look. I catch sight of a little Hana in front of the billboard. She's showing something to a woman there. Some colorful sheets of paper. The woman looks a lot like the musician in the poster. Moreover, I have the feeling I've seen her someplace before. Is that Ayakamiki? Yo, we're gonna talk to a celebrity. Oh my gosh. Does anyone have a piece of, no, we need an autograph. Do we have anyone that has a picture? We need a picture autograph. Where could I have seen her? Man, having amnesia is really a pain in the ass. I have no way of knowing whether I've forgotten something or had no memory of it in the first place. The woman looks through the papers Hana held out to her, nodding approvingly at each one, and I can hear her murmur with admiration. Hana! I wave as I scamper on over to her. As I do, the woman abruptly hurries off. Who's a sheeple? Hey, we meet again, I say. Hana just gives me a bored look. Who was that just now, I ask. I don't know. Hana quickly gathers up her belongings and starts walking briskly away. Oh, hey, wait up, I call out. The girl ignores me. She's moving at a jog now, heading for Spanish Hill towards Kowendori. Hey, Happy, how's it going? Yo, that's blood! She just face planted and there's blood on the ground. Ooh, that's bad. That's bad. That's all good, Happy. It's all good. Ah! As she steps onto Kowendori, she trips and falls down hard. The contents of her bag spill out onto the road. Oh, whoops. Catching up to her, I gather up some of the fallen pages. What's this? There are poems written on the colored paper. Copies of the prose poem titled The False Monsoon. The poem delicately details the wavering emotions of an adolescent girl. Also in a clever twist, if the text is read horizontally instead of vertically, it tells about a father's worries over his only daughter, who is now of marriageable age. Hana's genius will soon be discovered by Ayakamiki, and she will go on to become a popular songwriter. Aww. It's all good, Bunny. It's all good, but welcome to the stream. How are you doing? A look of embarrassment crosses Hana's face, and she snatches the pages out of my hand. Don't touch those! Those are for sale! For sale? I'm selling poems that I wrote. Oh wow, that's incredible. She looks surprised by the compliment. Incredible? My friends at school said they were dumb. That's not true. I only saw a little just now, but I thought it was a really good poem. You're just saying that. I've been out here in Shibuya for weeks trying to sell these, but the only person who's bought one was that lady just now. Hana lets out a mournful sigh. Well, what are you here selling poems for anyway? I thought maybe it'd help pay back our debts. Aww. Aww. She wants to help her dad so much. Oh my gosh. We need a Peeps to do a female voice. I'm sorry I can't do female voices. Huh? Okay, that's not something I expect to hear from a little kid. My dad's in real deep, she continues. The topic makes me think of Mr. Yanagashita. Guess today's my day for meeting people married in debt. And I'm only in elementary school, so I can't get a part-time job. Japan's Labor Standards Act prohibits the hiring of children under the age of 15. For certain jobs within the entertainment industry, however, employers can obtain permission from the Labor Standards Inspection Office for younger children to work. Over time, maybe I'll get better at female voices. I'm sorry, Cassie. That's even worse. I'm sorry! I'm impressed. She's so brave. She's maybe a little hard to approach, but she is just a kid after all. She's so brave, I just want to give her a hug. Oh, Hana! I hear a strange... Oh, Hana! I hear a strange wailing call from behind me. Startled, I turn around to see Mr. Toyama standing there, tears streaming from his eyes. Hana! I'm so sorry. I had no idea you were trying so hard to... Toyama rushes up to the girl. It's quite the emotional father-daughter reunion. Or at least that's how it looks until Hana slaps her father across the face with her bundle of papers. What was that for? Don't you give me that! I'm sick of all this running around! She delivers several more well-placed smacks with her little craft project. Okay, Toyama says at last. I know you're upset, but I have to ask you for just one thing. Then we can see about getting through the day, yeah? Okay, but just one. I can't help but find this ornery interaction kind of charming. You two get along really well, don't you, I say. Yep. Nope. The two give simultaneous contradictory replies. Then Hana suddenly starts to walk off, with Toyama tottering after her. It's such a weird little sight that I can't help but laugh. Well, later then! So Toyama wasn't in the car, but who told Chiaki Toyama was in the car? Further along Koendori, I come across a car on the roadside that's particularly aflame. A group of onlookers surrounds it in a confused uproar. Hey, Cody's, how's it going? Welcome. It seems almost unreal, like I'm looking at a set for a TV show or something. I stand there, staring into the flames. Huh? What's that? I can see something. Doing good. The raging heat makes the air shimmer. The scent of dry sand fills my nose. A gust of searing wind tugs at my hair. Where am I? We're in the Middle East, that's where this is where she meets Cannon, right? Decaying roads, decaying houses, a decaying city. And the people who live there. People who live. People who live. People who live. There's someone by my side. Someone is with me, watching all of this. There's Cannon. It's a girl. The person with me is a girl, slightly younger than me. She says something to me. Ana Imsumi. Cat's Cradle. That's my voice now. Cat's Cradle? Whose voice was that? What's going on? Who am I talking to? Yeah, Cat's Cradle. I'm showing someone how to do a cat's cradle with string. But who? Who am I showing how to do a cat's cradle? Cannon? Uh-oh. Cannon. Yo! She remembers Cannon! She remembers Cannon! Let's go! The word Cannon echoes in my head. Cannon? I utter the name aloud. The images floating through my mind are beginning to break up and vanish, but I feel like, for a brief moment at least, I caught hold on the edges of some of my lost memories. That's right. Cannon. As soon as I say it, I'm filled with a powerful sense of duty. There's something I'm responsible for, something that I needed to do. And if I don't, this Cannon person is going to be in grave danger. Calm down, just calm down. I'm pleading with myself now, fighting the impulse to take off running. If I did, where would I go? I have no idea what my destination or my goal even is. Please, please remember something. Please, please. I gaze out at the flames, practically praying now. Don't move. A voice hisses in my ear and I feel something hard pressed against my back. I don't need to turn around to recognize whose voice it is. I thought you said you didn't have any business with my... I did a little thinking, says the man with the cane slowly. About how I might lure out Hitomi Osawa, see? I'm going to use you as bait. Uh-oh. That's not good. To be continued. That's all of them. All right, let's pay attention. Everyone pay attention now. Let's see what we have going on. I don't know why we're clipping that, but okay. Minorikawa still busted up. So we got inside the van, taken by the man with the cane. Maria's infected. Toyama's suicide. Back to the precinct. So Kano wants to... So based on analyzing what was going on there, Kano is willing to just get at Alcar-1 to save everything. Minorikawa... I don't even know what's going on in Minorikawa's part there. Osawa's trying to contain everything, but I feel like we just saw Tanaka's face. Maria, I don't know what we saw there, and Achi is believing that SOS is involved. His old group. Okay. Well, let's go. Now we need to go see every single choice, so that way we can get all the bad endings. So let's do this. Looking ahead, Achi saw that they were breaking down on the young grade school girl, having his head in dismay. Achi hurriedly caught the girl up in his arms. The maneuver kept her out of harm's way, but the momentum swung her high into the air. She dropped a sheaf of papers she was carrying. As luck would have it, the papers fell amidst the trash getter alongside the road. Whoops, sorry! Achi stopped to gather up the sheets of paper, noting that each was adorned with some sort of writing. Here, it looks like they kind of got messed up, though. The pages had landed in some kind of spilled liquid. Most of them had gotten stained. It's alright, the girl said gloomily. You should just throw them away. It's not like I can sell them now anyway. You want to sell them? You're going to sell them? Hitomi asked. We're sorry, do you think you'll be able to redo them? Achi, is there a stationery store around here? Yep, up at the top of Dogenzaka, Achi said. Here. 5,000 yen, dang. He took a 5,000 yen note from his wallet and offered it to the girl. To buy new paper. I know I can't replace the stuff you wrote, but... The girl eyed the money doubtfully. But... It's fine. Go ahead. Take it. Thank you very much. The little girl spoke with surprisingly formality. Then she turned and headed up Dogenzaka. Achi gathered up the trash and tossed it into the garbage bin before he and Hitomi continued on their way. Something changes in Maria's story because now she doesn't have the sheets of paper. What happens now? Eventually, I muster up the energy to start walking around town, heading nowhere in particular. The billboard outside of a department store displays a poster of some female musician. She must be pretty popular because lots of passersby stop to take a good look. Am I just imagining things? I feel like I saw the same poster somewhere very recently. Standing underneath the sign is a woman talking on her cell phone. It sounds like she's having an argument with whoever's on the line. I don't want to be nosy, so I just pass on by. As I come out of Koendori, I gradually come to a halt. I'm a little tired from all this aimless wandering around. I let my gaze stray along the street as I consider my next move. Then I catch sight of a blue minivan parked across the street. Oh! Suddenly my heart starts pounding. I know this. I know this minivan. If I head over to it, I'm sure I'll remember something. Uh-oh! Oh no! As if pulled by some huge magnet, I make my way toward the vehicle. There's a sudden thunderous boom. I'm knocked flat by a blast of energy and the world goes all topsy-turvy. As I lie in shock, a wave of unfamiliar images fills my mind. A cloud of whirling dust in some place that isn't Japan. A simple room with unfamiliar architecture. A girl. And I know the girl's name. Her name is... She dies. On the verge of that revelation, my consciousness fades away. Well, we died. Rest in peace. Bad ending. A sudden blast. Maria arrived on Koendori just in time to get caught in the minivan explosion. If she's going to avoid this fate, she needs to stay away from that vehicle. Someone else's actions can ensure that Hana Toyama crosses paths with her again. Then Maria will talk to her and avoid the minivan. Also, there'll be a dog barking outside because he's just being a little prick right now, apparently. Yelling at the dog, but you guys heard nothing. Alright, I want to make sure that I've checked everything, though. Okay, cool. Bye, Gem. Take it easy. Have a wonderful rest of your day. There goes one of my favorite characters. Don't worry, we'll revive. Alright, so now we need to... Who would have thought that grabbing, I don't know, would cause this? Alright, so that's all done there. Under the van. Hey, Teddy, I don't know why you're saying help. You and like a few other people have been saying help for some reason. I don't know why. Hit me. By the way, Kit, bark. True. No thanks, I'll be fine. Hitting this man wasn't going to make Kano feel any better. Sandy's expression remained unchanged. It's not like I don't understand why you wanted to punch the guy, he said quietly. If I didn't have you to question him, I wouldn't have stopped you. Kano wasn't sure what to make of that. Are you encouraging me? Stanley held his arms wide. Don't know. Maybe. You're in pain? That's not good. Alright, and Kuze. Cool. Next other hit me. Hold on, real quick, because sometimes things could happen. No, okay, we're good. I'm the one who deserves to get hit. Thinking about Sasayama, Kano couldn't help but feel guilty. I'm the one who deserves to get hit. Thinking about Sasayama, Kano couldn't help but feel guilty. If I weren't such a bumbling clod, Sasayama would never have... Hey, don't blame yourself, Stanley said. You guys have been doing better than I expected. More sarcasm, huh? Stanley's mouth curled up sheepishly and he held his hands wide. And then Kuze's voice. Alright, let's see. Stanley, hesitant. Did the Spartan rank? Oh. Well, that went well. I know it's like a marathon of sorts, so... Kano decided not to press. If it's that difficult to talk about, you don't have to. If it's that difficult to talk about, you don't have to. No, Stanley said. I should tell you this. He braced himself before continuing. We were contacted on our end by the mastermind of this plot. Yeah, we know. Investigation on hold, so governor's press conference. We're checking all the different options right now, so. Large LCD TVs, yeah. Kano might learn something new about the case. He decided to watch the broadcast. Working closely with the administration and keeping a careful eye on the situation as it develops. The governor's expression was solemn as he spoke. The moment he finished his statement, the reporters bombarded him with questions. This seems similar to the bioterrorist attack in Kasumi Kaseki 2 years ago. Is there any possible connection? What kind of measures do we have in the event that Shibuya is the target of bioterrorism? The governor was visibly disconcerted. If this doesn't turn out to be a bioterrorist attack, we will establish emergency shelters with a large-scale quarantine station at Yoyogi Park. However, there are still many details that remain unknown. The politician was clearly struggling to maintain his composure. Can you comment on the rumors we're hearing that Shibuya might be blockaded off? Don't be ridiculous, the governor barked. What outlet are you with? Are you trying to start a panic when we don't even know all the details? Besides, it wouldn't even be possible to blockade the whole of Shibuya. The press conference continued, the governor and the reporters locked in a belligerent back and forth. Kano left the electronics store and headed for the cafe where Rumi and Shiza were waiting. He had to tell them both to get it far away from Shibuya. Cool. There's Kano. So far, things are going well, though. Tell Shizo the situation? Yeah, let's tell him. I think we have to anyway. Please listen, Kano said. There's a risk of bioterrorist attack. Listen, there's a risk of... What's that? What I mean is risk of, Shizo pounded his fist on the table. Spit it out! Kano just couldn't say it. It didn't matter who he was talking to. He couldn't make himself leak the details of an ongoing investigation. Besides, there was no guarantee a bioterrorist attack would actually happen. I got you, Teddy. I got you. If they could just find and secure Maria Osawa before she went symptomatic, does this have something to do with the case you're working? Huh? You're telling me to leave Shibuya. Does that have something to do with your case? Yep. Alright, cool. So that's everything there. We're still missing a bad end somewhere, so we'll have to figure it out. Should I tell them? See what we got going on here. There's nothing he could do, but he had forgotten he heard on the cafe. He agreed to take on the responsibility. He headed back for the theater. So this is talking about the dry ice machine. When he got there, he flagged down the first guy he saw and to tell him about the dry ice machine.
Hey, make sure you remember what I'm about to tell you, okay? The dry ice machine is broken.
The man stared back at him blankly, but Minorikawa just forged ahead.
Got it? The dry ice machine is broken. It needs to go back to the electronics store. Make sure you let the folks in charge here know.
He just grabs a random guy and tells him his obligation met. He hurried back to the cafe to get back to work on his company. Along the way, he caught sight of a young couple running. Ooh, this is new. They seemed like an odd pair. The girl looked prim and proper, while the boy struck out him a bit thuggish. In fact, the boy's clothing was very much in style worn by Shibuya street gangs. Maybe he knows something about SOS, which he does. Hurrying to cross their path, Minorikawa called out to the pair.
Hey, mind if I ask you something? Have you heard of SOS?
The pair stopped, eyeing him warily. The young man spoke. Yeah? Why do you ask?
Do you happen to be a member yourself?
No, not anymore. Well, if the kid had once been part of the group, he ought to be able to provide some background anyhow. Minorikawa took a step closer to the couple, formulating his next question, but they didn't stick around to hear it. Let's go, the young man said, and a moment later he and the girl were running away.
Ah, hey!
But the pair paid him no heed, and a moment they had vanished down the alley. The story about SOS would have to wait till later then. Because of the time, that does something else, right? Minorikawa hurried to the cafe. So there is still more that happens. Wow! Because of oh my gosh! Can we just point out that if Minorikawa stops to talk to Achi, right? This bad ending happens, this bad ending happens, and this bad ending happens. That's crazy. Minorikawa hurried to the cafe. Wasting no time, he sat right down and plugged his laptop into the nearest power outlet. He plucked himself down on the floor and hit the computer's power switch. The waitress gave him a disapproving look. Sir, I'm afraid you can't sit there.
Well, looks like your tables are full. I'll make do here.
Well, being able to make do wasn't really the issue.
I'll have a coffee, please.
And the waitress hates it. Just do whatever you want. The waitress turned away and stared vacantly at the ceiling. You know, a person can only get away with being obnoxious for so long. Sooner or later, someone's likely to call the police. Minorikawa looked up from his work, startled to see the burning hammer salesman standing over him.
You're Mr. Yanagashita.
Thank you so much for stopping by earlier. Are you going to write your article here? Yanagashita eyed Minorikawa's computer. Alright, and then that continues on, but then it gets kicked out. Okay. Wait, but what happens here? Only human. Is this just gonna take it to the keep out? Is something wrong, Mr. Osawa? Kajiwara was leaning in, looking concerned. Osawa came back into the moment with a start and realized he had buried his face in his hands. No, he muttered, looking up. Just getting angry, yelling at people. I'm not good with that sort of thing. I don't like it. Hold on. We've already read this before, so is this just gonna take it to the keep out? Hold on, we've already read this before. We've already read this. So doing hurts the others. So we apologize, sir. On Osawa never tried to tell anyone how he felt. Yeah, we've already seen this. He said he felt that his desires to appear for him, he might blurt out everything he'd ever. Inside it was a terrifying thoughts. Yep, okay, then the detectives and keep out, right? No? Wait, what? Before the news was shared with the Osawas, the members of the investigation team briefly. Well, I mean, we already saw this. So, Osawa, ma'am. Kajiwara shuffled his way over to them. We just got word from headquarters said to ominously. Osawa braced himself. Please, let's hear it. First, about your daughter Atomi. Kajiwara's expression was grim. Oh, okay. First, about your daughter Atomi. Kajiwara's expression was grim. The body of a young man named Machi Endo was discovered near Shibuya Station. The name meant nothing to Osawa. In a building not too far from the scene, the detective swallowed. Your daughter Atomi was found dead. And that makes sense because the assassin right here catches up to them. Or stabbed. The world began to shake. Osawa staggered, reeling with sudden nauseating vertigo. No, it's not possible. After that, your daughter Maria... The words blurred together. He could no longer comprehend what he was hearing. Everything was wobbling, shuddering, distorting. Hitomi was dead? Hitomi. At those words, Osawa's whole world went dark, as if someone had just yanked the curtains closed. Sounds about right. Bad end. Hitomi's death. Learning of Atomi's death plunged Osawa into a pit of despair. This was the dark end of a chain of events that began with a simple, small decision. Someone else merely decided to abide by a little promise. Because of that, not only did Achi and Atomi meet with disaster, but Osawa lost his mind as well. Keeping a promise is a noble thing, for sure, but right now, saving Achi, Atomi, and Osawa is more important. That's all the bad endings. I got the little things saying that it was, so... So it's Minorikawa. true. Well, let's switch things going. We can take on the there was nothing else he could do. Okay, let's just see all the other options and then we'll get on our way. And then we're pretty much done with this. Probably he was heading to a knick-knack shop. Yep. Probably he was heading to a knick-knack shop. Minorikawa recalled seeing one near the Burning Hammer demo site. He also recalled seeing a poster outside the place that well, we buy computers at top prices. When he was being choked by Mika. Damn, the guy had led him on a wild goose chase. The shop was surely going to sell the laptop. Gulping a deep breath, he headed in that direction. Wow, he just goes there immediately. That's nice. There you are, Yamagashita. Okay, recovering laptop. Miku steps in. Sorry, you just have to persevere until you're able to win again. Let's, we'll choose that one first.
Sorry, you just have to persevere until you're able to win again. It's something you need to do yourself.
But
you were the champion at that one pub, right? Maybe your mistake was thinking that you'd be able to win in an actual, for-real fight.
Miku began to tremble. Slap! You jerk! Miku delivered a blindingly flash slap to Minorikawa's cheek. So far, so good. Crying people. This is a good opportunity for you. You can find something to do with yourself that isn't martial arts.
This is a good opportunity for you. You can find something to do with yourself that isn't martial arts.
What?
You were the champion of the one pub, right? Maybe now that you're done with that, you should find a more girlish line of work instead.
Miku began to tremble. Poor Minorikawa, just getting slapped like crazy. Dude is like slap, slap, slap. Alright, so that's all of Minorikawa's choices. We just got slapped every time. If we think about the case, let's do classical reconsideration. Let's not listen to the music. Would you care to listen to a piece now? Consider that time true. No thank you. Right now, Osawa preferred silence to unfamiliar music. No thank you. Right now, Osawa preferred silence to unfamiliar music. I see. How about something like this, then? The detective pulled a digital music player out of his pocket. Here you go. Dubiously, Osawa slipped the attached earbuds into his ear. Oh, he listens to classical anyway. So regardless, he listens to classical music. Nice. He heard the gentle sound of surf. The simple rhythm of waves crashing and receding drew him in. He listened with unexpected pleasure. Time went by comfortably, as if he were standing alone on some remote beach. He took a deep breath and expelled it through his nostrils. It felt as if the toxic gloom that had filled him was departing with the air. Before he knew it, nearly 10 minutes had passed. Oh, there's still more going on. What do you think? It's quite nice. I listen to this a lot when I can't sleep. Even Kajiwara's voice sounded somewhat soothing to Osawa now. Thank you, detective. I'd forgotten what it was like to feel this way. He spoke his words unthinkingly, with unaccustomed frankness. I'm very happy to hear that, sir. Alright, now we good? Nope. Osawa gazed at one of the postcards as he gave his body over to the sound of roaring sea. Aya was scooping up handfuls of mystical blue sand. The grains dripped down from her fingertips. I feel like I could be in this photo here, Osawa muttered. Like I've lived my life letting so many things slip through my fingers. Kajiwara thought for a moment before responding. I think anyone who's worked in the... Now we good? Yeah, okay, now we good. I was like, wait a second, hold on. No thanks to the banana. Now we have to say no to the banana, and everybody, I'm sorry. You sure? I'm sure. Osawa spoke firmly, then his expression softened a little. I'm sorry. We had to say no. You know you've been getting on my nerves all day. Really? And here I thought I'd been doing what I could to soothe your spirits, Mr. Osawa. It's actually been a really long time since I've yelled at anyone so much. As the words left his lips, Osawa found himself thinking back to one particular rainy day. Why would I do that? Listen, we have to see every choice, because I'm guessing there's like some sort of achievement there for seeing everything in this game. Spare Maria infected. Alright, you said no to the banana. Alright, now back to Maria, who is possibly, let's run for it. The assassin doesn't answer, let his pistol hang limp. Doesn't look like he wants to kill me anymore, but doesn't look like he'll just let me go quietly either. I need to do something about the gun he has and make him run for it. Oop, I pick up one of the crates that are lying around in the alley and hurl it at the man with the cane. Then I book it right out of there. I run for a long time without looking back. When I finally do take a peek over my shoulder, there's no sign of the guy following me. That guy's been getting kicked all day. So on my run to a walk, I noticed Miku, the girl I fought for those cases of burning hammers, sitting on a nearby staircase. Thanks for earlier, I call out. She gives me a puzzled look. You let me have those diet drinks from the knick-knack shop? Revelation dawns on her face. Oh, right! I didn't recognize you since you're not a cat anymore. What are you doing here, I ask. Just like, you know. She gives me a half-hearted smile. Say, where'd you learn Akijitsu? Huh? The question catches me off guard. I don't know what to say. Your Akijitsu, where'd you learn it from? My Akijitsu? Now that she mentions it, that's a great question. I mean, I must have learned somewhere, or my body wouldn't have moved the way it did back then. I wonder who taught me. Try as it might, though, I can't remember. Miku interprets my silence as a refusal to answer, so she lets out an annoyed snort. What, is it a trade secret? Fine then, how long did you train? Not that long, I guess, probably. I'm just trying to avoid telling her I have amnesia, but she obviously thinks I'm being secretive. You know, she says angrily, after losing to you, I've completely fallen apart. I've lost everything. Do you know how that feels? To feel like you've lost a hold of the thing that makes you, you? I nod with conviction. I do know. I've lost things too. Like my memory. You do? Well, I just can't take this anymore. I have a complete breakdown of identity. Developmental psychologist Eric Homenberg Erickson was a key prominent proponent of the concept of self-identity, the ability of individuals to continually and reliably know who they are and what they should do. I mean, I'm saying this having lost to you and all, but a long time ago... Oh, do you mind if I tell you some stuff from a long time ago? Anyway, so a long time ago... And so Miku launches into her story. Oh, I guess this is what happens when I'm avoiding the assassin. Alright, I guess that works. You think maybe it is for the best if I quit? She asks at last. By now, 15 minutes or more have gone by. I've listened to Miku go on and on about her teenage years because I feel bad about getting her so depressed, but yikes! She's asked me all these questions I don't even understand, but although I'm starting to get sort of fed up with her angst, I keep my patience and respond as best as I can. If you love doing it, then I don't think you should quit, I tell her. Chances are, if you try to do something else, you're just going to come back to martial arts anyway. Besides, you probably owe it to the person who sent you down this path in the first place. You think so? Maybe you're right. Yeah, you are. Miku's face had regained a measure of cheerfulness. Thanks, I'm going to keep on practicing more and more so I get stronger. I'm not going to lose to you next time. Keep that in mind, creepy girl. I've got no interest in fighting her again, but for now I'll keep that to myself. Alright then, see you around! With a parting wave, Miku hops to her feet and heads off. As I watch her leave, a feel of jealousy wells up within me. Did I once have something I was that passionate about? Yeah. I don't even know because I can't remember. I just can't remember. That gunman, the one with the cane, he might know something about me. And at this point, I'm even willing to risk a run-in with a killer to find out more about myself. I decide to head back to where he was before. We're talking to the assassin again? That's weird. When I arrive at the alley, though, there's nobody there. Paradoxically, I'm both relieved and severely disappointed. Then I happen to notice something lying on the ground. What is it? I pick it up. It's a notebook. Slipped in the back cover is a photo showing 2 boys and a girl. Apparently that's going to be important. I get the strong feeling that it's important. Alright, well, we've... Wait. What happens? Wait, why... Why all the to be continues? Oh, because we got a specific bad ending. Okay, I see. So we're not technically supposed to talk to Miku. Because if we talk to Miku, then stuff happens. Okay, I understand. Oh, I'm guessing that we get distracted by Miku and then Minorikawa dies from the thing. That makes sense. Okay. Who am I? Alright, everybody, what's our name? What's our name? Is it... Tama! Tama! I am... Tama Hitomi? Tama Hitomi? I'm Hitomi. Hitomi? The name of the king said that I'm not her, but for some reason the name strikes me as really familiar. Maria Osawa. See, that's the thing. We don't know this yet. It's a Wu's our name? Perfect. So my name is Tama Hitomi. Tama Hitomi? We're gonna be seeing a lot of Mr. Yonagashita, that's for sure. My name is Awu! Maruo Osawa. Maria Obama. None of the above. None of the above. None of those fit me at all. No, I think you're Tama. But Yonagashita's still happy. Caitlyn would be happy about that? True. Want a hint? A hint? Yeah, a hint. Want to hear it? No, not particularly. Okay, well, anyway, thanks for helping me out with the cherry thing. Adios! And then, like a whirlwind, he leaves, leaving me alone in the alley. Ooh, suddenly feel totally exhausted. I let out a sigh and dropped my eyes. That's when I noticed a notebook on the ground at my feet. Cool. We back to this. Oh. Wait, are we done? Is that all of them? Did I actually see everything already? Yo, this stream was short. Yeah, that's everything. We've seen everything. Alright. So, with that, let's go back to the time. So let's take a look at our peeps. We have 50 bad endings. 50 bad endings. Maria, Achi, Kano, Minorikawa, and Osawa. And Minorikawa, fun fact, is covered in ash. Dude's looking a little bit beat up from that exploding van. 2 hours remain in this game, guys. 2 hours remain. We are on the final stretch of the game. I just want to verify what I'm about to say before we continue further. I know we've come so far. All right, there are 14 bad endings left. Right? There are 14 bad endings. I'm going to tell you guys right now, there are 3 bad endings left for Kano, 2 bad endings for Achi, 1 bad ending left for Maria, 7 bad endings for Minorikawa. 7 bad endings for Minorikawa, and 1 bad ending for Osawa. Out of the 14 bad endings, 13 of those bad endings take place. 13 of those bad endings take place in this time area. From 1600 to 1700, 13 of the 14 takes place there, and there is one last one in the 1700 block. I'm just checking a few things just to see. Wait, hold on. I'm learning something. Shit, we have a long way to go. What the hell? There's a lot more. Hold on. Okay, so there are... Huh. There is a lot of stuff. Holy shit. Hold on, I'm just checking a few things here. So my apologies if I'm getting quiet, because there's I'm checking like the achievement endings and such, and I just came across something. Oh, okay. So yeah, so main story stuff. So okay, let me load the game in real quick, and then we'll end things off here in a moment. Main story wise, this is the main story. We got 14. We got all the way up until. You know, we have 1600, 1700, 700, 1800. Okay, that is the main story. After the main story, we have some side things that we can do and some epilogue stuff from the main story. That should be interesting. That should be good. That should take up a lot of time. I'm going to get done with the main story from what I believe is the main story according to what I just saw. I want to get done with the main story by the end of February. So, we have ideally... We're going to be having 3 streams left of this. We're going to have one on Wednesday, we're going to have one on Saturday, and we have one on Sunday, okay? Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yes, my day off, we are going to stream this game to get through, hopefully, the 1600 to 1700 block. It's going to be the only stream on Wednesday, and that's going to be the idea. When it comes to the side story stuff, we'll just do that in the periodically through March, but that should be that going there. Alright. We still got one more stream happening later tonight. I have no idea what it is. I'm still kind of thinking of what we're going to do. Whether it's going to be My Time at Portia or something else. Anyway, I was told I have food waiting downstairs. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching 428 Shibuya Scramble, and have a wonderful day, night, morning, afternoon, and or evening. My name's Gatathi. I'll see you guys next time for more Variety Gaming. See you guys later. Peace. Bye, everyone.